All right, let's yoga. Okay, welcome to yoga for today, which is May 12th, 2022. I always sound surprised when I say the date. We're going to start off in a comfortable seated position. So if you have a pillow or a block, I would recommend sitting on a pillow or a block to raise your hips up, and then come to Sukhasana. So bring your legs to a crisscross applesauce position. Activate your feet so that the toes are drawn towards your shins. So your legs are active as you crisscross applesauce. Sit up tall and plug your sit bones into the earth. So you're grounding down through those sit bones. Chin parallel with the earth, shoulders out of the ears. Hands on your thighs, palms up, and bring your thumb and forefinger together and your middle finger. So thumb, forefinger, middle finger all together, palms up. Close your eyes and take a big, deep breath in through your nose. When you get to the top, open your mouth and sigh it all out. Inhale again, all the way up to the top, big cleansing breath. And as you open your mouth and sigh it all out, let go of all that does not serve you. And then close your mouth and start to come into the breath and into the moment as you give yourself this gift of this 1 hour, your yoga time today. So we're going to start to lengthen the breath, breathing deeper. We're just going to get used to being in our breath before we move on. So keep sitting up tall, and I'll cue this with the right hand as the dominant hand, but if you are left-handed, do it your way, which will be the opposite. So take the right hand, and we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. So place the right forefinger and middle finger in between your eyebrows. And then your right finger is going to be right beside your right nostril. And then you'll use that's your thumb. And you'll use your right ring finger on the left nostril. But don't squeeze anything yet at this point. Actually, take the right thumb and press it onto the right nostril, pinching off the right nostril. Inhaling through the left, all the way up to the top. When you can inhale no more, pinch the left nostril off with the ring finger. Release the right thumb and exhale through the right nostril. When you can exhale no more, inhale through the right nostril. Pinch it off with the right thumb. Exhale through the left nostril. Inhale through the left. Pinch it off. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Pinch it off. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Pinch it off. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Pinch it off. Release the left. Exhale all the way through the left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. All the way up to the top. Pinch that left nostril off. Release the right. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Pinch it up. Release the left. Exhale all the way down. And release your hand. All right. Sitting up tall, you can bring your hands back to your chin mudra, so thumb, middle finger, and forefinger together. And just keep your hands resting on your thighs. Take your gaze straight ahead. Now take it up slightly and over to the right, as if you're looking at a 2 on a clock. And now, using your nose in the air, just draw little circles with your nose, rotating around your skull, around your neck. Getting a little movement where you don't often get the movement. And now switch the direction of the circle. Nice and smooth, and bring it back to center. Take your gaze straight ahead. Eyes closed, but nose points straight ahead. Now take your gaze up and over to the left at about 10 o'clock. And draw your little nose circles in the air here. And switch the direction. Come back to center. And take your gaze straight ahead. Relax your hands. Maybe put your hands palms down on your thighs. Inhale. As you exhale, lower your right ear towards your right shoulder. Letting your left shoulder be heavy, letting it stay down, not following the left ear. Breathing into the stretch. Inhale and gently guide your head back up to center. As you exhale, lower the left ear to the left shoulder, keeping that right shoulder down. Breathing into the right side of the neck. Inhale, bring your head back to center. Exhale, lower your chin to your chest. Let your head be heavy and stretch the back of your neck. Breathing into the back of the neck. And as you exhale, roll your head to the right, bringing your right ear to the right shoulder. Inhale, roll your chin to the chest. And as you exhale, roll your left ear to the left shoulder. And rolling back to center, using your breath. And over to the right. And if your neck's okay, let it roll back. If not, go forward, chin to chest. Either you're doing the full circle of the neck or just back and forth in the semicircle, going forward, chin to chest, and then alternate shoulders. Whichever is okay with your neck. Now stop and switch the direction. And make it nice and slow so that you pause, feeling the stretch. Maybe pause where you feel tightness. And then slowly bring your head back to center. Inhale and lift those arms up to the sky. Palms come together overhead, shoulders out of the ears. And as you exhale, let your hands let's float back to center in prayer. Inhale, sweep and gather it up, bringing those arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands together in prayer at your heart. Inhale, sweep and gather it up one more time. Exhale, hands together in prayer at your heart. Interlace your fingers together and press your palms away from your chest. The arms are long in front of you, palms reaching for the front of the room, stretching into your palms as you press them towards the front of the room. Separating your shoulder blades. Shoulders stay out of the ears though. And as you inhale, float those palms up to the sky so that you're pressing your palms towards the sky. Shoulders out of the ears, hands are long, arms are long. And then release those hands and float your hands back down to your thighs. All right, if you have a block or a pillow, let's clear it out. So that we're still in a seated position, but you're connected closer to the earth. Hug that left knee in towards the chest, but keep that right leg still in your crisscross applesauce fashion. So the right heel is right by the left side of your bottom. Maybe you can take your left foot and bring it, crossing it over top of your right thigh. Maybe not. If you can either leave your left knee hugged into your chest, or you can take the left foot and put it on the right side of your right thigh. Either way, take your left hand and place it, no, your right hand and place it on the left side of the left knee. You could even give yourself a hug on that left knee. So put the left knee in the right elbow crease. You're going to feel a little bit of twisting going on. Take that left hand and place it behind your left hip. Left palm may be flat on the ground. Sit up tall. Inhale. And as you exhale, twisting at the waist, turning to look over your left shoulder. With every inhale, growing from your spine to your crown, getting longer. And with every exhale, maybe twisting just a fraction of a centimeter more to the left. And keep breathing. If you can't breathe, back off a little bit. Slowly start to unwind, coming back to center, bringing that right foot back right in front of you. Come back to your crisscross applesauce. And take that was the left foot. So left foot is now going to be right beside your right buttock. Right knee is bent, and maybe you're hugging it in towards your chest. Right foot's on the floor, and your right heel is going to be right up against your left shin, left ankle. You can stay right here. Or you can take that right foot and lift it and put it over top of the left thigh. So it's on the left side of the left thigh on the floor. Your choice. And maybe you do one on one side and the other side's a little different. Now you're going to hug that left knee with the right knee with the left arm. So maybe you can put that right knee in the left elbow crease. And sitting up tall, place that right hand behind the right hip on the floor, palm flat on the ground, and get length from tailbone to crown. Sitting up tall, inhale, And as you exhale, twisting at the waist, turn to look over your right shoulder. Inhale, sit up taller. And with every exhale, maybe deepen the twist just a little bit more. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, twist. Inhale and slowly unwind, coming back to center. Extend your legs long in front, straight out in front of you. And maybe then flop them up and down a little. Just giving them a little bit of rest after all of that. Take your right foot and place it inside your left thigh. So the sole of the right foot is on the inside of the left thigh. The right knee points to the right side of the room. Flex the foot on the left so the toes are pointing up to the ceiling and the left leg is long. Now equal pressure, right foot to left thigh. So they both press against each other. Both legs are active. Inhale and lift those arms up to the sky. Palms face each other but don't touch. As you exhale, make a quarter turn to the left and fold over the left leg, letting your hands fall on either side of the left leg. Hinging at the hips, it's okay if you don't come all the way down, even if you just fold an inch more than you were straight up and down, so long as you feel it. If you feel it in your right hip, maybe your left hamstring down the back of the left leg. Your hands fall on either side of that left leg. Just let them be. Rather than muscling into the pose, just let it happen. So your nose is going towards your knee, but towards is just a general direction. Doesn't mean it has to be there. And breathe into the stretch. And slowly walk your hands towards your torso. Bring yourself back up to seated. And switch legs. So extend the right leg long, straightening it out. Bend the left knee, placing the sole of the left foot on the inside of the right thigh. Flex the foot on the right so the toes point at the ceiling and that right leg is active. And try to remember equal pressure, left foot to right thigh. Both legs are active. Inhale, sitting up tall, lift your arms up to the sky, shoulders out of the ears. Make a quarter turn to the right. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips, folding over the right leg. Let your hands fall on either side of the right leg, nose towards the knee. Feeling an opening into that left hip. Maybe a stretch in the back of the right leg and the hamstring. And keep breathing. Walk your hands back towards your torso, bringing yourself back upright. Extend the left leg long to meet the right. And sitting up tall. Your feet are straight out in front of you. Both sets of toes point at the ceiling, so both legs are active. And let's inhale, lift those arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold, forward, fold. Seated forward, fold. Let your hands fall on either side of your legs. Nose towards your knees. Walk your hands back towards your torso, coming upright. And let's lower all the way down to your spine. Coming onto your back on the mat. And bring your knees in towards your chest. And let's rock side to side. Come back to center. Let those knees in. From here, let's take a happy baby. So one option is to reach your hands in between your knees, wrapping your hands, elbows are in between your knees. Hands reach over the tops of your feet and wrap around the outside edge of the feet. You're pressing your knees in towards your armpits, and your ankles are stacked over top of your knees. Alternatively, your hands can reach around the outsides of your knees, holding on to the outside edges of your feet. Or you can even hold on to, wrap your hands around the soles of your feet coming from the arches. Or, so long as your feet are parallel with the ceiling, if your hands are not making contact with those feet, you can hold on to your shins or your pant leg, whatever allows you to access the pose. The ideal is that the ankles are stacked over top of the knees. The soles of the feet are parallel with the earth. You're feeling an opening in your hips. And then try to bring your shoulders as close to the earth as you can and your tailbone so that your spine isn't entirely rounded. Let your legs be heavy and use gravity to open into those hips. The longer you stay, the more you're going to feel. And it'll change. Just surrender to the pose. Don't think about how long do I have to be here. Just be here. Let it happen. If you want, you can even rock side to side. So rock your baby. Come back to center. Release your feet. Bring your feet let your feet come to the floor, knees bent. Walk your feet the width of the mat, and then windshield wiper those knees side to side slowly. So letting them fall from one side to the next, unwinding your lower back. Next time you find both knees going to the left, let them fall all the way to the left. And maybe take that left foot and place it on the outside of the right thigh. Go a little deeper. Don't compromise your right knee. Keep both shoulders grounded on the earth. Release that left foot, the right thigh. Float those knees back up to the sky. Let them fall over to the right. And the alternative here is to take that right foot and place it on the outside of the left thigh. Release that right foot. Float those knees back up to center. Walk those feet back to center and then walk them close to your bottom. so that your knees stack over top of your ankles again. And maybe you can tickle the back of your heels with your middle finger, arms down by your sides, palms down. Gently press your biceps, elbows, maybe top of your forearms into the mat. And notice that your tailbone is heavy and there's a small space between the lumbar spine and the earth. Inhale, imprint your entire spine into the mat. Now your tailbone is not on the earth, but the whole spine is. And as you exhale, roll back up on the tailbone. Inhale, imprint, belly button to spine. Exhale, back up on the tailbone. Inhale, imprint, and start to peel your spine off the mat one vertebrae at a time, pressing through the four corners of the soles of your feet into the mat and pressing your shins towards the front of the room as you press your hips skyward, coming up into a bridge, getting length from your shoulders to your knees. Keep those knees both pointing straight ahead towards the front of the room. While you're here in your bridge, slowly drop that right hip an inch. Squeeze your buttock and bring it back up, even with the left. Drop the left hip an inch and squeeze the left buttock, pressing the left hip back up to meet the right. Drop the right hip. Squeeze, bringing it back up. Drop the left. And squeeze, bringing that back up. And then on your next exhale, use the full length of it to come down all the way down, rolling all the way up onto your tailbone. And let's roll over to your side, to the right, coming up to all fours. So coming to your tabletop on all fours. Spread your fingers wide like starfish. The thumbs point at each other towards the center of the mat. Your forefingers reach for the top of the mat. So your thumb and forefingers form an L shape. Knees are underneath your hips, tops of your feet flat on the ground. And no wrinkles in the back of the neck, so your face is parallel with your neutral spine. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the tailbone, bringing your gaze up towards where the wall and the ceiling meet as you bring your crown towards your tail, or your cow. Exhale, leading with the tailbone, curl the tailbone under, round the spine. Press your palms into the mat so you press your shoulders away as you round your spine and drop your head so that the gaze goes to the back of the room for your angry cat. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the tailbone, crown to tail for cow. Exhale, round the spine, curling the tailbone under for cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Come back to neutral spine. Inhale, extend the right leg long behind you, pressing the right heel for the back of the room. Your right leg is parallel with the earth, and your hips are square. And lower the right knee back down to the ground. Inhale. And as you exhale, extend the left leg long, pressing the left heel to the back of the room. Hips are square. And lower the left knee down. Inhale. As you exhale, extend the right arm forward, reaching to shake the hand of the person in front of you. So your right bicep goes right beside your right ear. Gaze is still down at the mat, so your face is still parallel with the earth. Your fingertips reach for the front of the room as your thumb points to the ceiling. Belly button to spine to give you more stability. And lower that right hand down to the floor. On your next exhale, extend the left arm long in front of you. So left bicep right beside the left ear. Thumb points to the sky, fingertips reach for the front of the room. Face is parallel with the earth. Belly button to spine. And lower that left hand down. Inhale. And as you exhale, extend the right leg long and reach the left arm forward. Belly button to spine. And lower right knee, left hand. On your next exhale, lift the left leg and the right arm, reaching forward. Belly button to spine will give you more stability. And down. Next exhale, right leg, left arm. Reaching long, pressing the right heel back and the fingertips forward. And lower. Final exhale, left leg, right arm. And lower. Step back to plank, or your favorite version of plank. So that's your push-up position. Toes curled under, heels pressed to the back of the room, or you're on your knees. Either way, flat back from crown to tail. Elbows tuck in towards each other. Belly button to spine so that your whole torso works, not just your back. Take 3 big yoga breaths here. And when you have your 3 big breaths, slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Hands underneath your shoulders. Press the tops of your feet into the mat so that your legs become buoyant. Your elbows are in by your rib cage and your nose hovers off the mat. As you inhale, start to peel your chest off the mat, just letting your head come with your chest, so no wrinkles in the back of the neck. Hover your hands off the mat. This is your baby cobra. Keep breathing. And on your next exhale, come on back down. Inhale, come on back up one more time. Hug the elbows into the ribs, hands hover, legs are buoyant. Exhale back down. Inhale, one more time, hover the hands, press the tops of the feet into the mat. And exhale back down. Press your hands into the mat and press yourself back up onto all fours. Bring your big toes to touch and open your knees wide. Slide your hips back towards your ankles and lower your forehead to the mat. So the part of the forehead that touches the mat is right at your hairline. If the mat doesn't come up to your forehead,
Rest your forehead on stacked palms or a pillow or a block. Whatever it takes for you to access the pose. Your arms, if your hands aren't supporting your forehead, let them reach long overhead so that they're reaching for the top of the mat. And you're getting length from your fingertips down your arms all the way to your hips. Again, use gravity. Let your hips be heavy so that they naturally want to go towards your heels. Stretching out the lower back and doing the counter pose to the back bend. This is your child's pose. Walk your hands back towards your shoulders, coming back up onto all fours, squaring yourself up. All right, we're gonna play with some more hip stuff. So if you have blocks, you might want to use them to support yourself here. If you don't have blocks, you can use any kind of furniture. We'll go into the pose and you'll see what you have around you that might work. So we're going to come to lizard. So I'm putting my blocks on either side of my mat, one on each side, right at my hands. But now I'm on all fours, hands on the mat. Inhale, and as you exhale, extend the right leg long behind you. Inhale again, and bring that right knee forward. And you're going to plant that right foot in between your hands. So your palms are on the floor with the right foot on the floor in between your hands. Left knee is on the floor. Turn that right foot so that the toes point at 2 o'clock. And take the right hand and place it on the inside of the right knee. So the right hand is on the floor and the right arm is against the inside of the right shin. Now slide that left leg back a bit, opening into both of those hips actually. You can stay right here. If you want, you can come down to your forearms. You can use your blocks, maybe so you make the blocks shorter and come down to your forearms. So you bring the earth up to your forearms, opening a little more into the hips, but not as much as if your forearms were all the way on the floor. You should feel an opening in both hips. Make sure right knee and right toes are both pointing in the same direction all the time. And breathe into it. Turn the right knee and the right toes back to center as you bring yourself back upright into a low lunge. So bring the right hand on the outside of the right leg, right foot, left hand on the inside of the right foot. So hands are on the floor. You're in a low lunge. Right knee stacks over top of right ankle. And don't let the right knee go past your toes. Gaze can be straight ahead. You should feel an opening in the left hip. And slide your hips back as you straighten your right leg, rolling up onto the right heel, lifting the toes off the ground and folding your torso over the right leg for a half split. So bringing the nose towards that right knee. It's all a matter of direction, not contact. Imagine you're going to drag that right heel back. So you're gripping the mat with the right heel and you're trying to drag it back. You feel the back of the leg fire and activate. Rebend that right knee. And bring that right knee back to meet the left. Try the other side. Inhale, and as you exhale, extend the left leg back, belly button to spine. Then bring that left knee forward, planting that left foot in between your hands, coming to a low lunge. So your hands frame the left foot. Now turn the left foot to point so that the left knee and toe point more at 10 o'clock. Bring your left hand on the inside of the left leg so that the left arm, maybe the left elbow is on the inside of the left knee. And slide that right leg back a little so that it opens into the right hip. You can stay right here, hands on the floor, or you can come down to forearms, come down to your blocks on whatever altitude you choose, opening into both hips. Keep breathing. And don't fight it, just let it happen. Soften into it. Back up on your hands if you've gone down to your forearms. Turn your foot to face forward. Take your left hand on the outside of the left foot. So your hands frame that left foot now. And slide your hips back as you start to straighten your left leg, rolling up onto the left heel and folding your torso over the left leg for half split. Again, imagine you're going to drag that left leg back. So you're gripping the mat with the left heel, trying to drag that left leg back, activating all of the muscles in that left leg. So the pose is active. Nose is moving towards the left knee. Rebend that left knee. And plant your hands on either side of that left foot if they're not right now. They should be. And bring that right foot forward to meet the left. So you come to a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Feet should be hip distance apart, which is 2 fists. Let the crown of your head align with the floor. So let your torso be heavy. Knees can be bent. It's okay that the torso rests on your thighs if you wish. And reach your hands around the backs of your ankles as if to draw the torso between your legs. And maybe the longer you stay here, maybe the more length you get, and maybe you can straighten your knees a little bit. Release your hands. Bend those knees as you inhale, slowly start to rise up one vertebrae at a time.
stacking them. As you come up to standing, lift those arms up to the sky. And as you exhale, bring those palms together in prayer at your heart. So here we are standing for the first time. Let's come to a tree for a little bit of balance. So we sort of did a variation of a tree seated when we did our Janu Sirsasana, which was the seated forward fold with the right foot planted on the inside of the thigh. But now here we are standing. Let's ground down through the left leg. So that's your tree trunk. Make that left leg strong. Take the right foot and place the right heel above the ankle bone on the inside of the left leg, using your right foot as your kickstand so the toes are on the ground, the right knee points to the right side wall. Standing up tall, bring your hands together in prayer at your heart. From here, you can grow your branches. So reach your arms up to the sky in a V shape. Now you can play with it. Take that right foot and plant it on the inside of the left calf so that the right knee is still pointing to the right side wall and the left foot is strong and stable. And it's okay to plant that right foot for 5 seconds and touch down to get a bit of balance and then bring it back up. Or maybe play with planting that right foot on the inside of the left thigh, bringing it up just a little bit higher. And see how long you can leave that foot connected to the thigh or the calf before touching down. It's also okay to hold on to a piece of furniture. Lower the right foot down to the ground. Shake that left leg out a bit and start to ground down through the right foot. Ground down through the 4 corners of the sole of your foot, making that right leg stable and strong. Plant that left heel just above the inside of the right ankle, with the toes on the left on the ground and left knee points to the left side wall. Bring your hands together in prayer. Now from here, you can grow your branches. Bring your arms up to the sky in a V shape. And then play with bringing that left foot off the ground, planting it on the inside of the right thigh or the inside of the right calf. And do the same thing. See how long you can hold it in one place. And one side might be easier to do than the other. And it's okay to wobble in the wind because trees blow in the wind. Maybe it's really windy where you are. Lower that left foot back down to the ground. Feet hip distance apart, and maybe just toggle your knees back and forth. Come back to center. Bring your feet are hip distance apart. Ground down through the 4 corners of your soles of your feet. Lift your toes up so that you're not gripping the mat with your feet, with your toes. And then lower the toes down. Taking your gaze straight ahead. Inhale, reach those arms up to the sky. Palms come together, and as you exhale, bring your hands together in prayer. Hinge at the hips and forward fold all the way down. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins or your knees with a flat back. So you're flat from crown to tail. Your face and torso are parallel with the earth. This is halfway lift or monkey.
On your next exhale, forward fold, bringing your hands to the earth and aligning the crown of your head with the earth. Plant your hands on the mat and step back to plank. Your favorite version. Tuck the elbows in towards each other as you lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck those toes and bring yourself up to Sphinx. So coming up onto your forearms, stacking the elbows underneath the shoulders. Palms are flat on the earth. So you will have a back bend going in a slightly different position. Gaze is straight ahead. And bend your knees so that your feet are up in the air, and windshield wiper those feet side to side, letting them go from one side to the other. Come back to center and lower those feet down to the ground. Take your gaze over your right shoulder, bringing your chin in alignment with the right shoulder, keeping the shoulders out of the ears. And bring your nose back to center. Turn to look over the left shoulder, chin right in alignment with the shoulder. And come back to center. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders and press yourself back up on all fours. Bring the knees and ankles together and slide your hips back as you lower your forehead to the mat, to a block, to a pillow, to stacked palms. If your hands are not supporting your forehead, bring your hands down by your ankles. Using gravity, let your hips sink towards your ankles for your child's pose. Relax your shoulders, taking them out of the pose. Take 3 breaths here. When you've taken your 3 breaths, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, bring yourself back up onto all fours, and sweep your feet around, coming back down to your spine. And back down onto your spine. Windshield wiper those knees side to side, slowly. Come back to center. Hug those knees into the chest. This is your child's pose, but on your back. Same thing. And let's come back to happy baby. So holding on to the soles of your feet, or your pant leg, or your calf. Soles of your feet are parallel with the ceiling, and knees are pressed in towards your armpits. Try to flatten your back so that you're not rounding your spine. And let your legs and hips be heavy. Let them relax into each other. Take 3 big breaths here. And when you've taken your 3 breaths, release those feet and release them all the way to the floor. Walk your feet to the width of the mat and let your knees fall towards each other. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms up, and take your hands a couple of inches away from your hips. Close your eyes
And take a big, deep breath in through the nose. And open your mouth, stick out your tongue, and sigh it all out. One more big, deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth and sigh it all out. Close your mouth, soften the jaw, and take a moment of Shavasana. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Start to lengthen your breath. Walk your feet towards each other and let them fall to the right. Your knees fall to the right as you roll over to the right to a fetal position. And press yourself up to seated. Coming to your Sukhasana. Bring your palms together in prayer. Grounding down through the sit bones, take a gentle bow of your head towards your hands. Take a moment of gratitude for all the goodness in our lives and all that our bodies do for us. Bring the thumbs to the third eye center. The light in me honors and sees the light in you, as the light in you honors and sees the light in me. Together we are one, and humbly we say, Namaste, yogis.